Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about value. And we're going to talk about value in terms of how important it is for you to create profits for your business. Because if you're not adding value, then how far your business will go will be extremely limited if it will ever get started at all. All right, so let's talk about why this is so important. There's many people, non-entrepreneurs, that think business is all about greed, and that message is enhanced by many politicians looking to win their favor, even though the examples compared to the number of businesses, particularly in America, that aren't about greed are far and few between. And the reason that is because business that succeeds and grows and sustains itself does so because it's adding value. It's adding real value to the people coming to the business to get whatever the business wants. All right, so let's take a little quick look historically at what I mean by this and why this is important. This is, regardless of your economic beliefs, this is capitalism. One of the key elements of capitalism, and it's been known since, my goodness, since probably the 14th century, the 15th century, is that adding value is key. Capitalism came about through the guidance under Christian values, the guidance of God. All right, it's part of your rights exist because of God and not because of a government. You don't gain what you have in life because of the government. You gain it because you have a right in your life to these things just by birth, by those rights bestowed upon you by God. Now, there's certainly other beliefs in either nature or God or whatever, but the beliefs in general are common. That we're in societies where people move ahead, it isn't because of governments. And I'll give you an example. Matter of fact, the most recent example. We have in the U.S. the president goes around telling it, the government took over General Motors, and they claimed it was a big. They're still going around saying it's a big success, which is an absolute lie because they haven't been providing any value. They took over General Motors, bought it at a price like somewhere around $40 a share, and then proceeded to tell General Motors to produce this car that there was no evidence that anybody wanted. The car was terrible. It caught on fire, and to this day it sells. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's way less than was needed to sustain it, yet they continue to produce it even though there's no demand for it in society. In fact, as a result of the government forcing something on the public that they don't want, the shares that the government bought at $40 are now worth $20, and the same company that they supposedly rescued from bankruptcy is near bankruptcy again. All right, so that's an example of trying to make the public get something they want that the public doesn't see has any value to them. It's seen, well, it's really not seen at all. The people just simply don't want it, so they won't buy it. All right, and that's classic of government trying to force you to do something that you don't want to do, and of course, people's resistance to that is extremely strong. Where on the other hand, in free enterprise and you as an entrepreneur, if you can bring something, you spend the time finding out what people want and what problems they want solved, and then you bring the solutions to them, then they will flock to you and buy what you have to offer. It is a night and day difference in when you're offering something that people actually want versus trying to make them want something. You bring value to them by finding out what their problems are, how they want to solve those problems, and then providing them the solution, whatever it may be. Maybe it's information products, maybe it's through a retail store, some retail product. Example, it may be the car that they want, it may be the house that they want. All right? It's not about you inventing something and trying to make them want it. It's about knowing what they want and bringing it to the market so that they can then access what you've created. And then once your solution is realized, more and more people start flocking to you. You make more money, and this is important because in the teachings of the Bible and God is my guide. It's important to provide value to other people. It's both moral and ethical. You as an individual providing me as a consumer what I need, you helping other individuals get the things that they need and want in life, and not telling them what it is, because they won't just take whatever you tell them. You bringing to them the value that they need, that they want, then you are answering a calling. Okay, now, and the reason you need to have you need to grow and get more money from the value you provide is because if you do not expand, then the number of people that will see results from your solution, whatever that may be, will be very small. You must increase your sales, your profits, so that you can grow. And of course, this isn't the evil business person being greedy. Number one, when you do that, you provide even more value. You hire people and give them jobs. And of course, at the same time, you also have to pay other businesses for support items, buy computers, buy paper, office supplies, telephones. All of these are services from other people that are highly valuable to you. So by you expanding, you increase the amount of value you can exchange with other company, other consumers, other people. All right, the potential is really unlimited as long as you provide value. Value is the key to your business. Now, of course, there's going to be other things down the line. You're going to have to get it out there and let it be known. But you start off with a true value proposition, something that people really want. You enter a market where people want things. You already know they want it, and you bring your solution to them. And it has to match their wants. If you cannot match the wants with whatever it is you're offering, then it's not going to work, and that becomes part of your marketing. All right, so down the road, you have to make that marketing match people's wants, and your solution be the answer to those wants. But as you do that, you will grow and you will grow and you will grow, and it's a big process, and everything about it is moral and ethical, even under almost any religious belief that I know of, and even those that don't, in a more formal way, think of things as religious, but as nature. But it is human nature as well that people want problems solved, and if you can solve it, they will exchange things of value with you. Remember, value is really what money is. Money is not. Actually, money itself has no value, right? It's just a note that says I'm exchanged. With this note, you can go get something of equal value, right? Remember, historically, money exchanges have existed probably for 3,000 years or more, but initially there was more an exchange of goods for exchanges of value versus using money. Money just progressively made things easier to do, and as capitalism came into a understanding that it was providing real opportunity for people to succeed, that and money was backed by real valuable things. The money made everything easier to expand and add value to society. So money isn't the root of all evil, as many like to think. It was actually what opened up society to have access to more and more things of value to them. All right. So we live in a society today where particularly in the U.S., we actually have a president who tells us it's bad to succeed. And so this is a conflicting message for many people. I'm sure it's not for you as an entrepreneur. You understand that success is is valuable, that everybody does have the same opportunity. It's a matter of what you do with that opportunity and what you need to do to make your business succeed with the opportunity is have something of value. If you're providing something of value, even if you have no money, if you connect with the right people, you'll find that people are willing to help you bring that value forth, which is how very poor people have become very successful. Let's just take a look historically at folks like Henry Ford. He knew nothing about motors, but he connected with people that did and ultimately created a car. It wasn't the first car, but it was the first one to successfully get mass produced and solve a problem for people. All right, he was not rich by any means. The Wright brothers, they had no money. Ford worked in his, I believe, in his garage as much did the Wright brothers trying to create an airplane. All right, did they have money to create an airplane? No, they had to get support of other people that believed in their ideas, that it actually had value, and they were willing to go forth with it. All right, so these things, there's no limits on who can move forward with what. If you have ideas of value, and then you learn how to connect it with the right people. It is about connections, but it isn't necessarily connections the way you think. I'm not talking about kissing people's ass. I'm talking about demonstrating the value to people, that they understand that it really does deliver value to the market, to the people, to the consumer, to something they really want, and then they're willing to help you bring it forward. The opportunity exists for everyone, including you, and if you learn those secrets, the secrets of bringing value, then it all comes together, and your business will grow. But that's also why, for those, there's nobody here that's looking for that, but you see it all the time. People are looking for this get-rich-quick, instant millionaire stuff, and honestly, it doesn't exist. Okay, if you don't have something of value, it doesn't bring you any money in the long term, and getting it out there, making those connections, making it happen, building the marketing doesn't happen like yesterday. Yesterday you didn't have it, and today you do, and the end of the week you're making millions of dollars. It doesn't work that way. It takes commitment. All right, you need real commitment. I remember when I was in the Navy, particularly when I got to the point of commanding a squadron. The one thing I realized that it was a process of years of experience, but once I got to the point where I was influencing it by bringing value to people, was really the only thing I could offer in the military. See, because the military is a government thing, you can't offer anybody who works for you monetary bonuses or things like that. All I could offer was what the individuals wanted. They wanted, my method was to find out what sailors wanted, and then find ways to do something of value. They do something for the organization does something for them. Okay, and I did that as often as I could, and the result was that in the Navy, keeping people, retention is most important in any military. Keeping your people and not wanting them to flee from you is most important, and the result of treating people with value and finding out what they wanted, particularly all about what's in it for me, for the sailor, more than doubled my retention. I had more than double the retention of other units around, and I proved that this was what was working when I went on to an aircraft carrier, where throughout the ship the retention of other departments were half of what the retention for my department was, and and the people, and I was undermanned, and we were going to combat, and these people were working incredible hours, but by simply finding out what value I could bring to them, then they exchanged that with me by being a force to deal with, being the best that they were. I mean, that was my challenge. You be the best you possibly can for our organization, and I will bring for you something of value for you. You know, was it 100% perfect? No, I couldn't 100% deliver, but I surely could in a whole lot of cases. And just by having that interest in knowing what it was, really changed the whole game, the whole playing field. That's why my playing field had a retention level double of everybody else's, and nobody could figure out why. All right, so value, finding out the value of what people want. It doesn't come from the government. It comes from the teachings of religions. For me, from the teachings of the Bible, bringing value to other people. Not being in it for the money, because the money just kind of comes so that you can expand and bring more value just because you are bringing value. So take that and focus on the value. If you don't understand what value you're going to bring, you're going to have a really, really hard time. So figure out up front what the value is you're going to bring to your marketplace. It is one of the keys to making things happen, besides the fact that you have to be the one who does it, okay? You have to take action. But that was the previous lesson, taking action. Now we're focusing on the value. Bring the value, and it will bring results. And we'll talk about some of the other pieces in later lessons, okay? All right, thank you very much, and I hope to see you again really soon.